Hey toy fans, my name is Tony. No, it's Brian. No, it's Tony. Is it Brian? It's Tony. It's Brian. No, it's Brian. And this is Yo Joe Joke. This thing is humongous. Compared to a normal 112, it's the biggest box I've seen so far myself. Now, once we remove the slip cover, we get nothing. We get some nice artwork. That's about it. No window. You can see from here that it's basically the same image. We got the top of the box. We got the back of the box, the other side, and then for those who really need to see it, we have the slipcover, which contains artwork that is not the bike inside the actual package. If I'm not mistaken, this is artwork by Creighton Klein, and the box is very nice, but it is also very boring. We're gonna pop the top. I already cut everything off screen because I do not need my fingers blasted off, because I will cut my fingers off all the time. So I wasn't ready for this. It's actually foam. Okay. And we have a little tray on the side. So, all right. There's Ghost Rider. Looks like a triple decker. We'll check that out. Then we have the foam. I got foam. Alright, so here we go. We got the figure right here. Lots of neat stuff going on here. We got lots of little batteries that look like they're going to be a giant pain in the ass. It looks like we got 3 extra sets of hands and the Spirit of Vengeance himself. Let's take a look inside. Let's pop that top. We don't need that shit anymore. Let's see. We got batteries. Ooh. I knew you guys were here for the batteries, right? This is pretty amazing. Look at all the care and all the time that they put into packaging these batteries. All right, batteries off to the side. Let us look at this Ghost Rider. Now let me get in here close so you guys can really, really, really appreciate how good this head sculpt actually looks. And I am not really a fan of Mezco, and I know you guys are gonna hate me for that, but I am just not in the soft goods really. You know, maybe a cape here and there, but honestly, it's just not my thing. I think they make beautiful and amazing stuff, but it's very expensive, beautiful stuff, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. So, holy cow, look at this thing. Very nice. For soft goods, this is really, really nice, honestly. It really doesn't look dumpy or weird, or, you know, it really does work. And, you know, where the cloth goes to plastic, it's pretty impressive. I'm pretty impressed with this. So let's look at the head. It goes back, goes forth, and it rips off. And we have what the Death Dealer figure had, which is a tiny little light, which is a gigantic nightmare. So we're gonna save that part for later. So let me put this head back on, and let's get in closer. Ooh. Looks like he's got the double jointed elbows. Yep. I'm feeling that in there. I'm feeling it. So, we'll go over articulation in a moment. Let's look at the accessory trays. So, like I said, we got the extra hands, so we'll put that off to the side. We have this really, really fucking awesome base. So let's pop that off. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, drop the flame effect. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be for his hand or something, but I already lost the instructions because I'm a moron, so we'll have to figure that out together. And there's some more flame effect. We'll check that out in a little bit, too. We got our beautiful bass stand. And I really like that. For Ghost Rider, that's a pretty cool display stand. I'm pretty impressed. All right, put that off to the side. And we have our standard Mezco goodie bag. I'll put that off to the side, but I'll lose everything before I even put it in there. So let's check out the next tray. More accessories. Ooh, looks like stuff with wires, so I'll break those. And the rest of the figure stand. So let's pop that open and give this a look. And this is a very, very nice accessory. This thing is heavy duty. And I am not even going to try to bend that. That's how heavy duty this is. So this part has some give. But over here, it ain't going nowhere, which is a good thing. So we'll take a look at that in a little bit. And now we have this wired up monstrosity of a chain thing, which is really cool. I'm going to stretch it out and bring it back to life so it doesn't look so scary. And this is awesome. This thing's got some weight to it too. It's really, really neat. Look at this. You know, I'm usually not one for the wiry stuff, but this is pretty cool. I like this. I almost like it better than the plastic. So we'll take a look at that later. And we have the rest of the display stand. I really like these. They are very tough. They can hold a lot of weight, not a ton of weight, but they are really cool. And next up, we have the Beast. And here we go. Top off. And let's take a look at this. Right off the bat, I can tell you this thing's got some weight. It definitely has some heft. It has some neat detailing along the side. Got our engine block over here. Nice little intake behind there. Has those translucent rubbery wheel things that were like on the Marvel Legends, but I'll tell you, I think the plastic's a little harder on this version. Has some really subtle paint. And I know it looks probably flat, but right here you can see that we go from like silver into like this gunmetal back here. And it's really subtle, but I gotta tell you, it's really nice. And how the paint over here actually fades back in the black. It's really nice. All the little fittings for the connectors and the seat. Nothing really going on the gauge in there. It's just pretty much blank. The handlebars, looks like we're going to have LEDs in here, which is pretty cool. And speaking of LEDs, down here, we have the battery plate. So we'll get to that in a moment. Let me get this off to the side. And we're going to check out the flame effects that come with the bike. Really nice, well sculpted. They're pretty chunky. You step on one of these, it's like stepping on 100,000 Legos at once. So there you go. And this looks like it's for the back wheel. So let's get the bike back in here. We're gonna see. Yep, that looks like it fits in there. Let's dump this out of here. Alright, and then let's see over here. Looks like the front goes in there. And there you go. Looks like the Hell Cycle actually has some awesome flame effects. I'm pretty impressed. Well, unfortunately, after 4 sets of different batteries, I come to find out that my Hell Cycle's electronics do not work. And that is a bummer, because I could see LEDs in the grate here, which would have been awesome to see. And there's LEDs up in here, which would be equally awesome to see. And, yeah, it really sucks, but at least you can see what the item looks like for yourself. And hopefully this doesn't happen to you. But, you know, maybe it's me. Maybe it's my batteries. Or maybe, you know, there's something else going on besides this on and off switch right here. So we're just going to leave it at that, and we will continue on. And at least the little pull for the head works. So, you know, there is that. That's nice. At least, you know, one part of the you know, $250 set works decently. Well, on the upside, the head does work, and it's way better than I thought it was going to be. The light inside flickers and creates this awesome effect. Do you see that in there? How awesome is that? We'll go over articulation on Ghost Rider. The head goes side to side. It does not go back or up and down, but that's totally fine. It looks like we do have the double jointed elbows, which is really fantastic. And there's room to move inside the soft goods, which is really something I worry about, is that, you know, they get a pinch point. You're articulating them, and then the suit rips. That would totally suck. The zipper over here, really, really neat. It's totally in the scale, and honestly doesn't stick out like a sore thumb like most of these zippers do. It continues up along the edge, and a nice little fold for underneath, so it looks like you could probably get this coat all the way up. I will not try that because I really do like the way it looks. Belt goes over the waist, looks a little goopy there, but what are you going to do? I'll pull that down over, but, you know, you still see the end of that. Got little fists, nice little details. Even though it's black, you can see that, you know, there is paint in there, even with inside the actual hands, which is insane. That's a very nice level of detail. The boots look great sculpt. You got ankle pivot back and forth, up and down. I'm not going to go crazy here. The pants do seem to have the same thing that the elbows do. That, you know, they are going to go back, and he can kick his own ass. So there you go. That's pretty wonderful. But I'm not going to try that because I don't want these pinch points like right here. But it looks like they really put enough fabric in there to compensate for that. He's got a big Bobo ass with a funny seam, but you're not going to see that because he's always going to be on the bike. His head fell off. Let me get that. There we go. You're back to good. And, you know, it looks like, you know, he goes back, he goes forth. He does go side to side, but I'm not really going to mess with that because he's soft goods, and there's no reason to really do that. You know what I mean? Like, you should be careful with this stuff because over time, it might fall apart. You know what I mean? So stress it very little. And there's that freaking head sculpt again. I just can't get enough of that. That is just awesome. And the flickering, awesome. I'm not going to shut up about it. I don't care. So there is the figure, and we'll do some size comparisons. Next, we have Ghost Rider next to the legendary, amazing, greatest figure ever made, Conan the Conqueror. Now this one, Mezco hit out of the park, but a million people have already reviewed this thing, and I am not going to talk about it, but for size comparison, this Ghost Rider is actually pretty damn big. Here's Ghost Rider next to the 1,000 Toys Abe Sapien from the BPRD. Also, here he is next to a G.I. Joe classified rootin' tootin' shootin' bat. Let me get these guys out of here. Here he is next to a NECA Arnold. You got to look out, you got to look out. Here he is with a Star Wars Black Series Robot. And let me get these guys out of here. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends brand new Ghost Rider, which I really, really dig and probably still like better than this just because it's more in my wheelhouse. And one more comparison to Super 7's Chet from Weird Science. Love you, Bill Paxton. Here he is, folks, in all his glory. Ghost Rider on the Hell Cycle. There are a few little tidbits I forgot to show you. The extra hands, but they are just extra hands. You'll check them out when you get it. And I did not notice until now that Ghost Rider's mouth opens and closes. So we're going to leave that open because that looks awesome. My overall impression is this is a really neat set. The bike is really cool. To me, it costs a ton of money, and it's usually completely out of my wheelhouse of collecting. But, you know, I got a really good deal, and, you know, it's a bummer that the bike doesn't work, but whatever. But honestly, for your money, for your value is why I don't collect Mezco, because it is incredibly expensive. And I do understand why it's incredibly expensive. But, you know, I'm still very partial to the McFarlane death metal motorcycle that I got on clearance for $20 and probably spent maybe 15 minutes dremeling pieces off of it and putting probably 10 minutes worth of painting in and some flame effects from Amazon for like, I don't know, I think they were $15. And I like my Hell Cycle better. And because I worked on it, I appreciate it a hell of a lot more. But this video isn't about that. But I brought it out for a size comparison. So up next, we are going to do some size comparisons. So there is your McFarlane death metal cycle with that. We also have ourselves a wonderful old vintage McFarlane Akira bike. That's Kaneda's bike. So let me get this out of here and pull this in a little closer so you can check that out. We got our Kaneda bike next to. And for another size comparison, we have the Ram cycle from G.I. Joe. And like I said, you know, the G.I. Joe set, you get a figure, you get a bike. I know it's a very basic bike, but we're still in the $50 range. You know what I mean? Like, this thing, if I'm mistaken, was like $230, $240 retail. And, you know, you could get the chance of one not working like me, and that's a bummer. But it's really neat. But in the end, I will take my little goofy custom bike any day of the week, which probably at the end of the day cost me maybe $40. So it's up to you to decide. And yeah, I want to thank you guys for checking out my review on the Mezco 112 Ghost Rider. And I will see you next time, everyone.